Good evening, this is Chamud Fernando bringing you the news in detail.
The news headlines on Gold FM.
Strait of Hormuz under IRGC control again. At least 3 ships attacked by Iranian boats. Iran's navy ready to inflict new bitter defeats on its enemies, warns Supreme Leader. Indian Vice President to visit Sri Lanka tomorrow. SF Raju under 72-hour detention.
The top story on Gold FM.
The Iranian military officially resumed control over the Strait of Hormuz. A statement from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps declared that the waterway would return to its previous state under the direct management of Iranian armed forces. This escalation follows accusations from Tehran labeling the US presence in the region as piracy and maritime robbery. While some shipping vessels had recently been observed transiting the lane, the current volume of traffic remains uncertain following Iran's previous threats to shut the strait in response to US port blockades. Safety concerns in the region have intensified following reports from the UK Maritime Trade Operations that a tanker came under fire from 2 IRGC gunboats today. The incident reportedly took place approximately 20 nautical miles northeast of Oman. Although the tanker and its crew were reported safe, Reuters sources indicate that at least 2 other merchant vessels were hit by gunfire while attempting to cross the strait. Shipping sources further report that the Iranian Navy has begun broadcasting radio messages to tankers stating that the waterway is once again closed and that no ships are permitted to pass. Against this backdrop of maritime tension, a written message from Iran's Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khomeini was published to mark Army Day. While the message notably omitted direct references to current negotiations or the specific status of the Strait of Hormuz, it contained a stern warning that the Iranian Navy is prepared to make enemies taste the bitterness of new defeats. Observers note that Mojtaba Khomeini has not made a public appearance since assuming the role of Supreme Leader in early March, continuing to communicate solely through written statements. On the diplomatic front, US President Donald Trump indicated that he may not extend the current ceasefire with Iran should upcoming negotiations fail to produce results. Despite this warning, the president expressed underlying confidence that both nations are nearing a deal. These comments come as Iranian sources confirm that high-level delegations from both the United States and Iran are scheduled to convene for negotiations this coming Monday.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
The Vice President of India, Sri C.P. Radhakrishnan, will visit Sri Lanka tomorrow for a 2-day official visit. During this stay, the Vice President will meet President Anil Kumar Dissanayake and Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya for bilateral discussions. These talks follow recent diplomatic engagements aimed at strengthening the long-standing ties between the two nations. The schedule includes meetings with political and community leaders alongside the exchange of several memoranda of understanding. These agreements focus on enhanced cooperation, specifically regarding Cyclone Ditwa rehabilitation and development projects supported by the Indian government. A high-level delegation accompanies the Vice President throughout the visit. Meanwhile, due to the Indian Vice President's visit to Sri Lanka, a specific traffic plan will be implemented around Colombo tomorrow and the day after. For more details, visit www.hirunews.lk. The body of a trafficker who allegedly jumped into the sea to evade a drug raid was discovered off the Beruwala coast. Police stated that a raid was conducted last Friday following information of a heroin and ice trafficking operation taking place on a boat docked at the Beruwala Fisheries Harbour. During the operation, the suspect reportedly jumped from the boat into the water. In a separate development, SF Raju, an alleged organized criminal, drug trafficker and brother of Karandeniya Sudha, is undergoing a 72-hour interrogation. He was brought to the island from India last night. Police media spokesperson ASP F.U. Wootler stated that the suspect will be produced before the court for further legal action following the interrogation. Sanat De Silva alias SF Raju was handed over to the Colombo Central Crimes Investigation Bureau for further investigation. The Bureau noted that information surfaced regarding his direct involvement in nearly 30 crimes. Meanwhile, a suspect wanted over the attempted shooting of Podipati, the brother of alleged organized criminal Logopati, was apprehended. A suspect was arrested for assaulting former Galle District Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna parliamentarian Sampath Atukorala. The incident took place in the Bamarawana area of Pitigala. According to police, the former MP was attacked with a sharp weapon when he attempted to intervene in a confrontation between two groups at an estate in the area. Following the incident, the former MP was admitted to the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital. He has been discharged after receiving treatment for his injuries. The lawyer of Minister K.D. Lal Kantha has sent a letter of demand to Hiru News stating that its previous reporting on the minister's declaration of assets and liabilities was inaccurate. According to the notice, the value of the minister's securities and the total gross value of its assets, as reported earlier, were incorrect. However, under the right of correction, Hiru News has re-evaluated these figures and issued this clarification. On the 16th, Hiru News reported on the declaration of assets and liabilities submitted by Minister K.D. Lal Kantha to the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption for the years 2024 and 2025, covering both his and his family's assets. According to the declaration, his movable assets include a 2,500 square foot residential building and 10 purchases of land valued at 6 million rupees, received as a gift, a permanent building and 20 purchases of land valued at 2.5 million rupees, and a 4,500 square foot residential building and 14 purchases of land valued at 56 million rupees. In addition, he declared inherited property consisting of a 1,500 square foot residential and commercial building on two roads and 7.26 purchases of land valued at 2.5 million rupees. His mobile assets include gold jewellery weighing 8 sovereigns valued at 1.6 million rupees, 120 grams of gold worth 3 million rupees, and a motor vehicle valued at 4.5 million rupees. Hiru News also reported that the minister earns an annual salary of 738,918 rupees and 16 cents, 400,000 rupees from property rentals, and a pension income of 771,400 rupees. Additionally, income from fixed deposits was reported at 2,775,851 rupees and 97 cents per year, and 1.8 million rupees annually was listed as income from his current employment. Based on the declaration submitted to the Bribery Commission, no discrepancies were initially identified in the reporting. However, the legal notice highlighted errors in the reported value of securities and the total gross value of assets. Hiru News stated that the previously reported value of the minister's securities of 383,906,705 rupees and 40 cents was due to a calculation error. According to the declaration, the correct value should be 143,475 rupees and 8 cents. Furthermore, the earlier report that the total gross value of assets exceeded 460 million rupees was also incorrect and resulted from a calculation mistake. The corrected estimate indicates that the total value of the minister's assets exceeds approximately 80 million rupees. Hiru News expressed regret for the inconvenience caused to Minister K.D. Lal Kantha, and this clarification is being published under the media's right of correction. Five suspects, including the primary female accused, remain in custody until the 20th of April following an incident at a shop in Ragama. Authorities arrested the group after they allegedly harassed a woman and forcibly cut her hair. A magistrate ordered the remand today as police continue their investigations into the assault.
Now for some news in brief.
Heat levels felt by the human body may remain at a cautionary level in certain areas tomorrow, and the Department of Meteorology advises residents in the north, north central, northwestern and western provinces to remain vigilant.
The business news on Gold FM.
China expressed readiness to move forward with negotiations to upgrade its free trade agreement with Switzerland. According to a statement from the Commerce Ministry issued during a bilateral trade meeting in Bern, a high-standard free trade agreement will provide fresh momentum for cooperation in trade, investment and innovation between the two nations.
International news on Gold FM.
The time has come for a conversation with the US regarding Washington's vision for future economic ties with Russia. This was said by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov today at a summit in Antalya, Turkey. He, however, noted that the significant differences remain between the two nations. Lavrov also remarked that NATO is not in the best state, though he clarified that Russia would not interfere in the alliance's internal affairs. Renewed economic cooperation with the US has become a central part of Russia's efforts to establish a diplomatic detente with the administration of US President Donald Trump.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Screen legend Natalie Baye, acclaimed for her roles in French cinema and Steven Spielberg, Catch Me If You Can, died at the age of 77. Her family confirmed the news to AFP today, stating she passed away yesterday evening at her home in Paris. Baye leaves behind a prolific legacy spanning decades of international film history.
Sports news on Gold FM.
The New Zealand under 85 kg rugby squad will arrive in Sri Lanka on Wednesday ahead of a two-match series against the Sri Lankan national side. The visitors face Sri Lanka in the opening fixture this Saturday at the Colombo Racecourse. Following the clash in Colombo, the teams travel to Kandy for the second encounter scheduled for 3rd of May at the Nitawela Stadium. The Schools Rugby League 2026 will commence this Thursday. Under Segment A of Division 1, last year's runners-up Wesley College face newly promoted Prince of Wales College in the opening fixture at Havelock Park. The tournament structure maintains 18 teams across 3 groups, with every side guaranteed 5 first-round matches. Performance determines progression into Cup, Plate or Bowl tiers for the second round. 2 teams face relegation to Segment B at the conclusion of the season. Following the exit of Vidyartha and Dharmaraja last year, Lumbini and the Prince of Wales joined the top flight. Trinity College Kandy enters the season as defending champions after their historic 2025 victory ended a 38-year wait for the league title. DS Sena Nayaka College and St. Anthony's College also return as Plate and Bowl winners. That's it from the news in detail. Have a good evening.
This is one party you don't want to leave. Saturday Night Fever on Gold FM 93 or 93.2 island-wide.
නැකතට කිරි උතුරවා රිච් ලයිෆ් එකක් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන්න මුළු රටටම රිච් ලයිෆ් අවුරුද්දක්.
Finally, Candy belongs to Candy. Enjoy new offers for new clothes at our newest outlet this new year.